Russia and elsewhere. I'm joined by Vitaly Shevchenko from BBC Monitoring at Caversham. Vitaly, what are you seeing in the scale of reporting and also the detail and the line being taken?
Hi, the feeling in the Ukrainian media and in the region is that of shock and disbelief at what's been happening. There are many online television stations that have been set up in Ukraine over the past few months, and they've been endlessly streaming video from the main protest camp in Ukraine's Independence Square, and the pictures that we've been seeing are very dramatic. This morning, for example, after there have been reports of people being killed by sniper fire, announcers at the main stage in Independence Square have been making impassionate pleas for more medicines to be delivered to the square and various locations across Kiev. Now, in newspapers, we see, in Ukrainian newspapers, we see headlines speaking of civil war and rivers of blood. And there are also questions about who's going to be held responsible for all this. There's obviously a lot of finger pointing, many accusing the government, but also many voices are saying that the leaders of the opposition in Ukraine have not been able to control the situation, and they thus carry part of the blame. Now, in Russia, most news outlets see this as a project that was launched by the West to take control of Ukraine and thus harm Russia's interests. And many newspapers in Russia speak of the Ukrainian state lying in ruin. And also, which can be quite unusual, I've been hearing that major television stations in Russia are paying much more attention to developments in Ukraine than to the Sochi Olympics. Now, the Winter Olympics in the Russian city of Sochi are seen as President Putin's pet project, and the general expectation was that they would be the focus of coverage in the Russian media. But instead, I hear that top headlines are about Ukraine.
Vitaly, just quickly, if you can, obviously you can't read everything in every single media platform, but is there a clear split between, if you like, the pro-government media in both Ukraine and Russia and those who are retaining some form of independence?
Yes, it's obviously difficult to maintain impartiality in situations like this when both TV viewers and newspaper readers and journalists see pictures of people being attacked, people covered in blood. And as I say, there's lots of finger pointing, and the views that are being expressed in the media in Ukraine, for example, are very harsh. And in eastern Ukraine, most sources, you could say, support the government, while in the West they are pro-opposition. However, what we've been hearing so far indicates that most reporters are questioning both the government's and the opposition's ability to control the situation.
All right, Vitaly, the BBC's Vitaly Shevchenko from the BBC Monitoring west of London. Thanks for joining me here on BBC World News. Let's go to Egypt, where 3 journalists working for the Al Jazeera television channel are due to go on trial in Egypt. Among them is the former BBC journalist, second from the right here, Peter Greste. He was arrested in late December. The journalists are charged with broadcasting false news and assisting Egypt's blacklist